Today on Homeworthy, we're visiting the glamorous and theatrical English countryside estate of renowned designer Pearl Lowe. Thanks to her successful singing career, Pearl was one of London's indie it girls in the 90s, so it's no surprise that she has infused her home with an edgy, rocker feminine feel where lace, velvet, and fringe coalesce. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Pearl Lowe and welcome to my home. So here we are in our hall. I bought this lovely, gorgeous, I don't know what they're called, conversation chairs. And I was looking one for a very, very long time. And a friend of mine who's a dealer said to me that she thinks she'd seen one up north. And I was like, oh my God, I really want one. So she ended up going up there anyway to buy some other things. And she sent me a picture and I said, yeah, that's it. That's perfect. So now we have one here. It probably, after having many kids and a lot of animals, we probably need to recover it at some point. But yeah, so come into my other room. This is our living room. This room's been decorated 3 times. We've only been here nearly 8 years, but I love decorating. So, and I like trying things out. I kind of use the house a lot as, I don't know, like my own little canvas. If I was an artist, this would be my sort of, where I kind of try things and some of it works and some of it doesn't. Often someone in our family will say, but I liked it before, it looks so much better. But this has been the 3rd time, and this is my favorite, the favorite one I've ever had. So I used Robert Kine. He's sadly not with us anymore, but he was this incredible interior designer. And he uses a lot of kind of abstract, like Aztec prints, and they're just, I don't know, quite English. And I think that when we lived in London, our house was very white. It was all sort of white walls, white floors. I had most of this furniture there, but I think when you come to the country, it's quite nice to have fabric, like layers, different prints, warmer, like velvets and, kind of thicker fabrics, because it gets quite cold in the country, especially in winter. So I wanted, for this room, I kind of wanted somewhere where it was, just cozy and we could, sit in front of a fire and watch movies and read and, so, because I did do it white and it just didn't work. So actually this is the best color that I found. And this sofa here I bought from a friend of mine who's an interior designer. And I got it covered in Nicholas Herbert fabric. And again, it's super comfy. It's just a really squashy, sort of fun sofa. But everybody loves this sofa. Look, at the moment I've got my dog Doris on it. It's her favourite sofa. This is actually a Rachel Ashwell one. And when Rachel had her shop in Notting Hill, I went in and I've never done that before. I walked in and I just said, oh my God, that sofa, I need to buy that sofa. But I didn't know how much it was and it kind of nearly broke the bank, but it was amazing. And originally I sort of chose the linen stripe that she had, which was like a kind of blue and cream linen. And then I went to Paris and I stayed in the Coste Hotel and everything was red velvet. And I bought behind over there, I bought this fringe lamp in the market, and I made my husband bring it home on the train. Well, no, I brought it home with him, but it was too heavy for me to carry. But anyway, and so then the whole kind of, then I decided that I wanted red velvets and fringe lamps. And so I changed the sofa to red velvet and it now really works in here. And it's kind of, I don't know, it just feels like a really lovely, cozy room that we spend a hell of a lot of time in. It was green, and you know, my other half, Danny, he has a really good eye, and he felt like it looked like an 80s conservatory when it was green. He was like, I just don't like it, Pearl. I know you're really, really talented, but this just doesn't work. And so I changed it, and I made it, I put like this white wallpaper with stars on it, and it just didn't work. So then this was the next one. Often I kind of go, come on, this is gonna work, you know, and I do wing it, you know. Very often I like to try things that I've seen. I don't know, it can be even in a movie. I can see a room in a movie and I think, oh, that will look good. You know, lots of things inspire me. Often when I travel, I went to Morocco and that really inspired me. We went to India and I got really into different colors. It just all depends, really. Flowers, you know, in the summertime. I always think that, you know, it all depends on when you're decorating, which season you're in. So sometimes, like, you know, I'll be decorating the house, it'll be winter, and I think, oh, you know, velvets and leopard prints and, you know, kind of heavier prints. And in the summer, you want to do light, you know, kind of ditzy white florals, you know, like, I don't know. It just all depends, really. We entertain in here. So often when we have like dinner parties, we start, you know, we come in here, we put the fire on, lots of lovely scented candles everywhere. And everyone just chats. And it's just a really nice place to kind of sit and chat. We've had parties in here where we've taken the sofas out and we've put music on and everyone dances and things like that. This room really reminds me of lockdown when we were kind of, you know, because I had all my kids at home, all 4 of them, and it was a very special time because we would just be here playing games, or, you know, one night we all dressed up and did a murder mystery night, and we were all in kind of mad clothes, and we just had quite a nice, fun time. I mean, it was obviously horrible in many other ways, but we made the most of it, and I just remember, in this room, I think we spent most of our time in here. But at Christmas, we had 23 people staying here. And this was last Christmas. And we had log fires. And my brother-in-law is part of BAFTA. So he had all the pre-release movies. And we just watched movie after movie after movie. It was really fun. I'm a bit of a sucker for floral furniture. I love things. I'm really into folk art. I always have been. I'm really into the French, you know, the floral sort of. This is actually Florentine. I'm into Florentine as well. So, and I'm a real sucker. I always buy floral painted furniture, and there's also Swedish, and I like it. I like things that are imperfect. That I don't like new things. I like things that have a history, that tell a story, and that I actually think it's really nice when, I mean, my other half will tell you otherwise because he likes things to work really well. He gets really upset when I bring things back from the antique fair because, you know, it won't have it won't shut properly, or it'll be like, he gets really cross with me. And my lovely friend, who's this unbelievable florist, she's like a proper artist. On Instagram, she's called Swallows and Damsons. She's in Sheffield, and so we put this installation on, but it will stay forever because that's what happens in this house. Things just stay for years. You know, once they're put up, that's it, you know. And then the fireplace is really wonderful. That's Charnwood, this wonderful guy nearby who installed it. And it's so warm. I mean, honestly, it could heat the whole room, you know, because it's a very cold house because it was built in 1820. So it's very old and it's very big. I mean, it's kind of got, you know, quite a lot of rooms. It's got 11 bedrooms. So, you know, to heat it is an absolute fortune. And also, we find even heating it, putting it on full, you're always walking around in a sort of, you know, a fur coat or something. It's just like, I got blankets and layers in the winter. It's just nuts. So you need one of those. I'm quite a romantic person. I love interiors, that are feminine, but yet have an edge. So I kind of, I started dyeing bits of lace fabric in 2001, so long ago, when I was still a singer, and I would just kind of sit in my front room. I ended up buying this huge kind of washing machines because it became a business overnight. It was crazy. I did a shoot for Elle Decoration, and then my business went mental, and I was like suddenly dyeing all these lace things for people. And so now I still love that look. I still love the lace. I mean, this is one of them here, but this isn't a dyed one. This is just what I sell. And this is just an ivory one that's natural. But I do hand dye them at home. And all these years later, 23 years later, I still sell them. It's crazy. And I just love chandeliers, fringe lamps, flowers, anything that's kind of girly, but yet, is a little bit more edgy and rock and roll, I suppose. Okay, so I'm going to now take you to our kitchen, which is our other favorite place. This is our kitchen. When we bought the house nearly 8 years ago, we bought it from a friend. We knew her, and she had 5 children. They'd all left home. She was living here on her own. And a friend of mine took me here and said, listen, I think this is your house. This is definitely your house. And then I walked around, and I loved it. I fell in love with it, but it was way too much money. And I watched it on the market for 6 years, like nobody. It was really bizarre. And one thing led to another, and the price came down, and we were able to afford it. And one day I saw her in the market, and she said, make me a silly offer. I really need to get out. And so I made her a silly offer, and she said, yeah. So 6 years after I'd seen it, I bought it. So mad. When we came here, she had a big table here, but I wanted to be able to wash up and look at this beautiful view. I contacted DeVol. They're just this amazing kind of kitchen company. And I asked them if they would be up for collaborating. And they said we could do something. So they came along, and I actually designed a kind of island that has sort of glass within it, which they didn't do, but now they do it, because they said it was, they loved it so much. So we've got sort of glass here. These were found in an antique market, these stools, which they've actually emulated on their websites. These are the originals, but they've got some for sale which are very similar. And they made me this lovely pantry cupboard, which has all our kind of food in there. And spices and everything like that. What else? And they did these. But honestly, it's the best kitchen. I mean, actually, you know what it's like when you have parties, everybody always stays in the kitchen anyway. So everyone always is in this kitchen. We just sit here for hours. Often I get, sort of messages on Instagram saying, where did you get your floors? It's like, no, sadly, this is what, came with the house. So these lead out to the garden. They were here. Everything's, in England, we have this thing where, so this is grade 2 listed, which is not ideal. You can't do much. You have to stay within the tradition of the house. So, so we haven't done any kind of structural work or anything like that. It's just decoration. I was looking for, those industrial big lights, because I was thinking it's such a big room and I need an industrial light. And one day, because I just, I look on the internet all the time just for things, and then I came across these lights in Exeter. It's not so far from here, but it's a couple of hours away. And I was like, oh my God, they're the ones. Those are going to look amazing. So I'm really, really pleased with them. They're so cool. So this is my friend. She's the artist Sam Taylor Johnson. She's married to Aaron Taylor Johnson. She's She's the most incredible photographer artist. She's also just directed the Amy Winehouse movie. So when she moved to Somerset, she said, would you come and help me with my house? And I was like, yeah. Because I used to, interior design other people's houses. But I don't really do that anymore because for many reasons, but just, I don't, anyway. And she said, please let me pay you. And I said, no, it's fine. And she said, look, okay, I'll give you a piece of art. So that's the one I chose. I guess we call this our breakfast room because we have another dining room, but it's really big. So it kind of, actually, at the moment, I keep looking everywhere. Sorry, I keep looking everywhere and thinking, oh my God, there's so much stuff everywhere because often because we've been shooting, so there's lots of things for sale and it just feels a bit like a shop at the moment. Sorry about that. But yeah, so this is our dining room. We have breakfast here and we eat here as well because it's a bit more cozy. The other room sits 23 people. Whereas this one's just where we kind of have our cozy dinners, just the 6 of us, The wallpaper, again, this has been decorated about 3 times. I think I've gone around the house 3 times since we've been here. And it's that sort of thing where you start decorating and you're like, no, that's wrong. And you get this, I don't know, I get this thing where I'm like, I know it's wrong, but I live with it for a little bit. And then I'm like, no, I can't live with it. So I have to change it, So, but when I get to the point where I really love it, I can keep it for years, So this was done last year, I think. And this is House of Hackney. I just buy things I love. And when I get bored of it, I sell it and put it on my website. It's fun. And the rugs, I used to be into Moroccan rugs. And then I was like, I went to Morocco the kids said their childhood was spent in Morocco because I used to like to go there to buy rugs. And my husband was like, why don't we just go to Notting Hill and just go to the Moroccan shop? It'd be way cheaper because we'd have to all go there and then pay the charges of bringing the rugs back. And it was just a nightmare. But it's that thing of going around the markets and finding the ones you love. And it was before Etsy and all that. So, but anyway, then I got bored of Moroccan rugs and I got into Persian rugs and Turkish rugs. So this is what they are. I'll probably get bored of them at some point. They're supposed to be like this. Yes. So so basically we recently got a kitten and he is so annoying because he likes to bite through all of this. So we have to do that. But let me put it down so you can see. So this is the way they are. But yes, so basically what this is for is if someone's cooking, then you can just do this and not see it. So yeah, and then it's just a little bit more, they do sharp. Listen, I appreciate all sorts of decorating, but for my own home, because I've obviously decorated quite a few houses and people will say to me, the brief is, I want it very clean, I want nothing else, and that's fine. But that's not what makes me happy. What makes me happy is that I don't mind if there's, I want it to be eclectic. I want it to be lived in. We have 4 children. We have a grandchild. We have animals. And I just want it to be this fun, happy place where it's not too precious. So people can the only thing I get, people can just enjoy themselves. And we do entertain a lot. And also, I do get a little bit precious with red wine because I love beautiful tablecloths and often I'll make it look really nice and someone, will spill red wine. You can't get it off. So that's the only thing I get a bit precious about. But apart from that, anyone can do anything. When we first moved, I was thinking I wanted it all mirrored, like mottled mirrors. But my other half wanted a gallery wall. So he did that. He gathered all the fun pictures that we had and put them all on one wall. And then Ben, this guy who works for Rachel Ashwell, he made the gallery wall. We used to have that chair, but we changed it. And he made that for me, which I just love so much. But it's all the pictures that are on our gallery wall. So it's incredible. This is my best friend. She's called Zoe Grace, and she created the I'm Not Sorry, and also the applause. And this is, sometimes it's, yes, I'll put them on so you can see. Those are Zoe. You'll see her work all over my house. So we're gonna leave this room and we're gonna go to my creative room, which is where I do all my work. So here we are in my creative room. So this is where I work every day. I suppose people have an office and I have a creative room. Everything in this room is for sale. I can't believe, no, but it's, you know, my family call me a hoarder, but I'm not a hoarder. I just love buying beautiful things. And what's been amazing about creating a website where I can sell everything is that I can buy beautiful things, own them for a little bit, and then let them go. I was a singer for many years, and I felt really guilty when I used to go on tour and leave my children. I was really miserable. It was a very kind of toxic life, lots and lots of drugs and alcohol, and it just didn't suit me anymore. I got sober in 2005, and I started to change career paths in 2001 when I started designing. My mum's an interior designer, so it's in my blood. My grandmother was a really incredible dressmaker, and I should have gone to fashion school because I would always cut up my own clothes and, you know, make my own stuff. But I didn't. I chose music, which is great, and I had a fun time, but I wanted to be in a job which brought me joy, you know, and what brings me joy is creating things. So in 2005, I moved to the countryside. I found some local dressmakers and I started making black lace dresses, and I sold them in Liberties and the Cross Shop and all boutiques around London. And then Peacock's, this high street store, asked me to do a collab with them. They said it was just for one season, but it was so popular that I worked for them for 3 years until they went into administration, and then it kind of ended. But I had my fan base and I set up on my own. So 2015, I started creating kind of costumes for kids because my little one, she was about 5 at the time. She only used to wear vintage kind of crazy 1920s costumes. So, and they were quite scratchy. So I decided to make patterns from them. And one day I was in town and I bumped into an old friend and she said, "Oh, I'm working for Harrods. Why don't you bring..." And she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I've got these costumes." And she said, "Let's have a meeting." Anyway, started selling them in Harrods and Selfridges, and then I just thought, you know what, I can go back to dresses now. I'm going to do some dresses. So that was 2017, and ever since then I've had my website, and it's been amazing. I have local seamstresses that, you know, we do bespoke, but we also, you know, I'll show you. So we do all these beautiful, I mean, I'm wearing one, obviously. I only ever wear my dresses because they're just flattering and they're good for all body shapes. But this is one of them. So they're all sort of based on 1930s, 40s patterns. These are all Liberty prints. And I'm trying to see what I've got here. This is a winter one that I did, which is just kind of really lovely. And this is a sort of, this is the one I'm wearing, but in white, which is kind of like a broderie anglaise. But they're just, you know, I have like women buy, you know, I had one lady the other day say she's got 15 of my dresses because they're the only flattering dresses she can wear. Because it's good for people with boobs and bums and, you know, and older ladies, because it's horrible when you're older and you go into a changing room and you look so awful and everything. But, you know, these are good. They're they're just flattering, and you can wear them with boots or shoes, or so that's what I'm doing now, which is fun. So these were the costumes that I created. So basically what happened was, when I lost my job with Peacocks, I got a bit down and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I thought, you know what, I created a book called, it was Pearl Lowe's Vintage Craft. And I worked on that for a year. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do dresses anymore. I'm just going to figure out what I want to do. And when I started creating these, I thought, well, I'll do this for a bit. But it gave me the confidence to go back and do dresses again. But this is the first outfit so this was like a kind of clowny outfit. And I have got a few here, but obviously I'll show you the cape. I did this amazing cape, which I still create now. But so this is a little cape that I sold so many of these. They're sort of all made with silk and tulle, and and I created my own Harlequin print out of pink Harlequin. I've got lots of pictures of my daughter Betty and her friends. We did a huge fashion show. We did a few fashion shows, and it was so fun because we'd get all her friends, boys and girls, walking down the runway in all these clothes, and we'd get people doing their makeup, and it was just such a fun time. Like there was a couple of summers where we just, all the parents would be there, and it was just, we'd have parties and catwalks. It was fun, and then Betty got to about 10 and was like, Mum, please, no more. I'm not modeling your clothes anymore. So I was like, okay. She stopped. What else have I got? Oh yeah, this is another one. This is a really beautiful little top that I did. So you can see they're really lovely and just fun. I mean, as you can see, lots of textiles. I sell lots of, kind of crochet. I'm really into crochet. Not everyone else is, but, I dye these kind of, I'm quite into crochet. And then these are just tablecloths that I do. And I just dye them up. I find them in the vintage shops, and it's, it's a nice, it's so weird. I have ADHD for my sins. And so I get quite bored of things. Like I'll do something for a while and I'll think, and then I get an idea to do something else. And what's so great about, having a website or having Instagram is that you can just, if you feel like doing something, just release it. You don't have to do it like twice a year, spring, summer, or autumn, winter. You literally just have an idea and put it out on your website, put it out on Instagram, and that's that. That's what's the beauty of the internet. And, when I first started working, we didn't really have that. So it was harder. You had to rely on a shop. You had to have a big markup. It was always it wasn't as easy as it is now, So, that's my, sorry. This is tidy for me. You have no idea. I had to tidy before anyone came here today. And then I do cushions as well. So I do these with one of my best. So that's the other thing I love, is working with my friends. So I did a collab with my friend Trash Velvet. And so we do these for Christmas. So we have like lots of different cushions, and it's really fun. So, yeah, that's all really. I just spotted something as well. Something else sequin. Look, I did this I started doing costumes for adults. I know what I wanted to show you. Oh my God, I have the most amazing thing I want to show you. So this is just a little circusy, very fun. I'm really into sequins, but I'm going to show you our best-selling. Sorry, going back to the Harrods, this was the first thing I designed, which, hang on, I'm going to put that there. So this was a butterfly outfit. I sold so many of these. Look at that. It's so cool. it's sort of, so the girls, I've got lots of pictures as well of the girls in these, and they'd walk down the, it's so funny. Amazing. So I kept one just so that, I didn't really want to, so I haven't made them for years, but anyway. So this is my bathroom. Actually, this is one of the things that has, I did have wallpaper in here, and then Bert and May, who do these wonderful tiles, said they would gift me some lovely tiles, and was I up for them? And so I picked them, and they were so beautiful. And so we changed the whole bathroom. And I love it so much. And this is their bath as well, which is amazing. It's so bad because there's the curtains, again, the cat. So normally the cat destroys everything. So normally this is sort of like that. But anyway, I can't do it now. It's just, yeah, there you go. So yeah, here. But since we've got the cat, it's a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, I think the mad thing about, because again, pink's my favourite colour, so I always just end up like going back to pink, because it's just such a beautiful, and it just, you can just do so much with it, I feel. It's not as sort of, I think sometimes white can be quite stark, and then pink is just a good colour to work with. I love pink and green, pink and cream, it's just, I don't know, it just really works, I feel. And then I don't know why, I just put a brown rug on the floor, but I thought it kind of picked up on the copper bath, So this room was pink, and then I just thought, I don't want wallpaper in here, because again, it's nice to sometimes just have colour. Just have like a really bright, nice, warm colour. And this is great in the winter, and it's also good in the summer as well. So it's a Benjamin Moore colour. We painted the floors white because they were brown. They were like, they were the elm colour, but it just gives it that lift of, it reflects everything white. So the bed is I was lusting after that bed for many, many months, and then someone contacted me from Soho Home, said, would I do a shoot? And I'd get gifted a bed. I was like, what? Oh my God, amazing, yes. So I got that bed, basically. And it's pretty amazing. And then the usual sort of, I love mirrored furniture. I've been collecting it for many years. It's kind of like, you either get them from the 20s or the 50s. And this was my first ever piece of furniture I ever bought. And it cost a fortune back then. I mean, literally 20 years ago. And I've got the dressing table and then the little mirrored side tables. And again, my obsession with the Persian rugs and just fringe lamps, and I love feathers. And yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know, I guess I just throw it all together and then hope it works. And then sometimes it doesn't, and then I have to sell things, which is a bit annoying. I'm really obsessed with the Bloomsbury set, and I went to Charleston House, which is in Lewes, and it really inspired me because I don't know if anyone's ever been there, but it's everything is painted, and everything, because obviously they had so much. It was 100 years ago, whatever, and it was there wasn't much to do apart from paint walls, paint fireplaces, paint. So all the wallpaper was beautiful, but it wasn't wallpaper; it was painted, and the furniture and they've kept it as it was. And I think that's what really inspired me to start painting instead of using wallpaper. And then obviously then you think, oh, what else can I paint? You know, what else can, and then it's a massive faff, you know, you have to end up taking everything down and start again, you know. Oh, I was one more thing. So this is a lovely lady who made these for me. She's called Bovamp. She's great. I think she's so talented. She's really cool. So we're now in my youngest daughter's room. It was my oldest daughter's room, but then the youngest one decided that this one was nicer, so she's swapped. But now she has two rooms, so she has another room and this room. So this room has, you can't really see, but it actually does have, this is Nicholas Herbert wallpaper, and I quite, again, pink. It's warm pink, and it's kind of got a lovely feel to it. These headboards I made in collaboration with Coco & Wolf, and they're available to buy, but we did them in Liberty prints. This is Coco & Wolf as well. It's all Liberty prints. But I came up with the idea because I got into, when I bought, because we have a house on the beach, and I started getting into divan beds, which are just very plain, but I realized that they hurt my back, you know, like if you're trying to like read or anything. And I thought, well, why doesn't any, and I was searching online looking for headboards, you know, just soft ones that you could just hang up, but there wasn't any. So I created ones myself. Yeah, like I said, I did them with Coco & Wolf. So it's been really fun. She has a very lovely view overlooking the countryside. So lovely to look at that view every day. And these are, again, my curtains that I make, and just old chair, lamp, you know, fringe, well, lamps, old lamps. And then this chair here, I just covered myself. Not myself, I found the fabric and got a friend to cover it for me. That butterfly made it on the front of my books. I released a book in 2018, which was called Faded Glamour. That was the cover of it. I found that in an antique fair, and I just was like, oh my God. And it was so expensive, but I was just like, I've got to have that mirror. That mirror is amazing. Yeah, and then this is one of, I design velvet dressing gowns. I'm really into velvet dressing gowns. I just again, it was something that I couldn't find a nice shape. So I designed my own. So that's another thing that I'm quite into. Okay, and then we're going in here. There's some costumes. I like hanging costumes. That's quite a nice thing to do. This is the bathroom. It's a bit messy, sorry about that. It's got my granddaughter's stuff there. And here's one of my dyed lace curtains. This is one of the ones that I hand dye. This wallpaper's Farron Ball. I thought it was quite 20s, quite into the 20s. I love the 20s. I think I would have been a really good flapper girl. Sadly, I wasn't. Born in the wrong time, that's what I say. This was my eldest daughter's room. I decorated it because my eldest daughter lives in London, but whenever she came to stay, she'd be here, Daisy. But now she's decided, now she's got a little girl and she wants to be nearby, so she's rented somewhere. So my youngest has taken the room. But the funny thing about my youngest is that she's really similar to me and she's got very similar taste. So she just appreciates this kind of decor. She hasn't asked to change it or anything. I think she loves it in here. So it's fine. But maybe if she's going off to university in September, so I think she'll probably have to start decorating her own places. But the last bedroom I'm going to show you now, which is, I'll take you in there now. So this has been recently decorated. This one had a very beautiful orange wallpaper that was, again, Robert Kime that I told you about. But they discontinued it. The room, when we had a lot of rain, it got flooded. Not flooded, but it became really damp and all the wallpaper got ruined. So I had to take it all down and I put this House of Hackney one up. But I wanted it to be similar because it really worked. Again, this is one of my Coco and Wolf headboards because I used to be really, really into French beds, but again, I think divans are actually more comfortable, and so we used to rent this house out for, and we still do sometimes, because it sleeps so many people. It is like a holiday rental, so you can rent it for the summer, and I just felt like we needed more comfortable beds, so we kind of got rid of all the French ones and got divans. So those really work with the divan. And also this bedroom is so cozy. I just felt like it was like a nurturing bedroom, you know, so hence why it's got, you know, a quilt and, you know, just coziness. It's so magical. It's just I love this room. I think this is definitely somewhere I would be really happy in if it was my bedroom. It's just it's very girly. I thought when my little grandchild grows up, you know, it would be a nice room for her, you know, just to be in if she comes to stay. So I don't know, I just thought it was really cute. This is my favorite mirror I've ever bought. I just love it. It's a 20s one. How cool is that? You can buy things in here. You can buy the chair, you can buy the little cherubs. Lots of things on the website. In fact, most things in this house are for sale. It's quite funny. A house should be a fun, exciting, cozy place where you just relax and enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.